Good day, everybody. This is the Ecclesiarch here, back with some more Warpforge. And if you are currently struggling to climb the ladder, then I am here to help you out by showing you a very destructive deck that I've been using currently. And as you can see, I'm almost into top 10. So this is very strong. Like my rank has skyrocketed ever since I started playing this specific version of Swarmlord. So let me show you what exactly we have here. This is your typical big Syanpse Swarmlord, but it has some big bonuses. So one of the biggest buffs to Swarmlord in the recent patches, let's say recent maybe 3 patches, first of all was the Gargoyle. The addition of the Gargoyle is huge because now you get a flank unit that can also become a very powerful late game unit which has flying, which is nuts. So that allows you to also omit Predator Instincts, at least one copy, and that opens up room for like more interesting stuff. Basically you were dependent on rolling your Predator Instincts on probably a Venom Thrope to clear, right? Of course we still have that combo here, but now you also get your Gargoyles. Then you also have your infinite biomorphologies at energy 2, which is huge, because if you start with this and a couple of monsters in your hand and give them health or armor, that's usually what you're looking for, health, armor, or stealth, it can become like a big problem. Also, there's the hardened biology that was recently buffed to give 2 armor and health to a troop. Absolutely insane. If you get this down with a Syanpse, your opponent is stuck. Nothing except the orcs is going to be able to deal with that, basically, which is huge. Now, other than that, we do have enhanced organism and adrenaline surge for our buffs. It's better to use this rather than the let me show you what the other card is. I think the other card is not that good. The other one for 3 energy that we have is augmented ferocity, and I don't think it's really that good because it's much better to get the enhanced organism, because it just gives permanent health rather than healing, and adrenaline surge also gives ranged attack while also being cheaper, so that is very important. Of course, we got some standard stuff like Hive Crone and Broodlord, 1 Rapacious Hunter for hard removal. Other than that, we're mostly running big units like Carnifex, Tyrant Guard, Zoanthrope, and Broodlord. Now and there's also Tyrant Prime because of some extra Syanpse. But there's a very important thing. You also have Gene Stealers, which are very flexible. Like, if you can put this down after biomorphologies, it can be devastating for your opponent. These guys can multiply like crazy. We also have the Neuraloid, and you might ask yourself, why the hell do I want a Neuraloid, right? It's a 0 cost one too, but that's the thing. It has Syanpse. This is very important. This opens up so much space for late game Syanpse combos. Let's say you don't have a Syanpse on the board, you drop that, you do your Ravenous Hunter and your buffs, you basically waste no energy on this. So this is a very flexible tool for sure. Also, the reason why Swarmlord is very powerful right now is because there's little Orcs and Tau on the ladder. Orcs and Tau were probably the biggest problems for Swarmlord, and they are almost all like out of the meta. Everybody's playing Kalgar, Necrons, Chaos, stuff like that, and Swarmlord is really good against all of those things. Maybe not that good against the Eldar, but if you can get like a good hardened biology against the Eldar, it's just absolutely nuts. So without further ado, let's play some ranked and let's see what we can do with the Swarmlord. I'll try to narrate to the best of my abilities to explain to you guys every decision that we make. Now, this is a pretty good hand, honestly, but since I already have a lot of Syanpse, I might actually consider swapping the Neuraloid for something, but then again, it is also pretty good. I think we're going to leave this hand. So usually you want to keep units in your hand as much as you can, and that's mostly going to be good. Against Varo Tigurius, you could also consider Orbital Bombardment, which is not bad, but since I'm not playing like the very aggro version and more about developing the board, probably we might want to pass on that. So let's do this. So on the second turn that we are going to have, I'm going to tell you what we're going to do. Most probably, Varo's first turn is usually just to draw a tactic, nothing too serious. There you go. And the next turn, this is what I'm going to do. We don't have anything to play next turn unless we draw a Gene Stealer, right? And we know that if we don't play anything, most probably the Stern Guard is going to be dropped next turn. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop a Neuraloid here, and I'm going to buff it. With this, I'm giving Varro a choice. Risk a Sergeant, and it might hit my Warlord, or use maybe a removal on this. Maybe his ability, maybe point-blank shot, but that opens up the possibility for me to play Tyranid Prime. Unfortunately, he also had the Inceptor. That was probably the worst version of what could have happened there, but nevertheless, it is somewhat fine. So what we're going to do is we are going to drop the Node Beast instead of the Tyranid Prime. Reason for that is the 6 health, because if I drop the Tyranid Prime, he can just take it out with 2 strikes, one from his Warlord, one from his Inceptor, meaning that he can then play something for 4 energy, and that way we lose tempo, and we never really want to lose tempo when we're playing the Swarmlord, because you already have a slow start, unless you get your Gene Stealers, so there's that. Okay, so he attacks that. It's gonna be left at 1 HP. That's pretty good. He drops another Inceptor. Okay, that's pretty nuts. And he probably goes... Oh no, he doesn't go face. Okay, in this situation, we could do a couple of things, but what I'm gonna do really here is I'm gonna drop a Tyranid Prime and I'm gonna invisible it. I'm gonna make sure that he cannot take that out next turn. He could drop a stun currently, which would be pretty scary, honestly. In case he drops a stun, I can play the Gargoyle into it. If he doesn't drop a stun, I always have the Hive Crone, so there are some options. Now, the main issue that we might experience in this current matchup is that we can always draw cards while we can run out of cards very easily, right? So we gotta be careful with our resources. We cannot just drop everything on the board without thinking. The invisibility on this was a good choice once again, because again, he can take it out with this and this. You never want to have your unit taken out for free. By free, what I mean is without the enemy taking something in return. Some damage is what I mean, right? So that's a very important part. So he attacks here, and this is an interesting choice that I have right now. And honestly speaking, this is what I'm going to do. I could drop the Carnifex, but instead... Or maybe I should drop a Carnifex. That's the question. Yeah, no, probably I'm going to play this. I'm going to take this out with face, and I'm going to attack here. This way, if he plays an Inceptor Sergeant next turn and attacks this lives. If it was at 2 HP, then most probably it would have been taken out by the Warlord. Actually, he could not take... Did it have 3 melee attack? Let me double check. I think I messed it up. Yeah, it had the ranged attack, so a little bit of a mess up there from me, but doesn't really matter at this point. Okay, so we got Hardened Biology. That is always really good. We're going to get and not Hardened Biology, Enhanced Organism rather. We're gonna do this. We're gonna buff this guy up here, and we're gonna go face. So he's already pretty close to being lethaled, so he might have to pull a emergency invulnerability there, or a shield or something. There's the Inspired Retribution. It's of course goes on the Tyrant, not the Tyrant, sorry. What's it called again? Oh my god, Carnifex. Yeah, goes on the Carnifex. There's his invulnerability. That means that he's already stuck on options. That is beautiful. And this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to heal this while also giving it invisibility and also doing this. So that way, the only way he can really stop it is if he stuns it. That's the only way he has now. Or he has to be carrying anti-stealth, which is possible, but unlikely. I can also drop a Gargoyle next turn with like thrice the Tide, which is going to be pretty nuts. Oh, he actually did a very interesting thing there, and I'm not actually sure if... Oh, what? Interesting. I think what I will do here, however, is... So I don't have it enough exactly to lethal him. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna take some damage to the face. Then take this bad boy out. And we're gonna bash in. There you go. So let's see what he does now. He could still do something like frontline, stun, refill into a lot of stuns. He could still win this. It's not won yet. He's very low, but he could still win this. Ultramarines are very flexible. They have stun, they have energy refill, multiple codex triggers, so it's not easy to deal with. No, okay, never mind. We got him. We got him, we got him, we got him. So guys, I think in that game you would have seen how important it is to think what you play. Sure, maybe the first idea was let's play Tyranid Prime because then the Node Beast is gonna get bonuses when it's going to trigger Tide. That's cool, but if your opponent can just take that Tyranid Prime out for free and just seize the initiative, it is not good. So keep that in mind. Okay, we got Marneus Kalgar. Marneus Kalgar is a scary opponent. It's Snowfire, alright. So we gotta be a little careful here. You never really want to swap out the Carnifex, I think. We're also going first for the these two turns. When you're playing with the Tyranids, honestly, it's hard to decide whether you want to go first or second. First is very good for initiative, but second is good because you have a crazy card that we could be playing Carnifex this turn basically. So there's that. So I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna drop the Neuraloid here just for tempo. I'm usually doing this because one of the main issues that there is when playing against the Marines is their stupid Stern Guards, and Stern Guards really need to be dealt with. Okay, High Factory, what? You know what? That's not too bad. Does he have a refill? No refill. That's not too bad because he kind of wasted a card there, and that is really good for me. And I did top deck a Venomthrope. Venomthrope is really good against Ultramarines. It's like their bane because they can't really take... This 6 HP here is very hard for Ultramarines to deal with unless they use something big. Because most of their flanks are like 3 damage in the early game, so the 6 HP really does the trick. Okay, that's good. Alright, what you gonna do? He might do a refill here, which would make absolute sense, to be honest, because he really wants to make this, blind. Now, there's a couple of things that I could do, obviously, but you know what? I'm just gonna do this. I could now commit to buffing the Venomthrope, but instead I'm just gonna drop a Carnifex here, because Carnifex is another unit that the Ultramarines really struggle with. What he might do now is he might use Inspired Retribution on this and go face with this, in which place I just play the Broodlord and I'm happy. Nope, he doesn't do that. Oh, okay, so he's gonna be like very committed to this. Alright, my friend. In that case, this is what we're gonna do. Instead of the Broodlord that I was normally... Oh. Actually, top deck. That's a top deck if I've seen one. So, just to tell you guys what I was going to do, instead of the Broodlord, I was going to drop the Crone so that I could take this out and also take out the Inceptor. That way, of course, he would have had the 2 of the Marines left, but now, of course, I got, like, the top deck. I got the perfect situation there, which, hey, I don't mind. Good for me, right? And he's fishing, because he's slowly running out of resources. He's been trying to push me, and he hasn't been drawing a lot of cards. There's like a weird choice here, and honestly speaking, I think this is what I'm gonna do. I think this is how I'm gonna do it. Yeah, goodbye. There's your Kalgar, boys. So, 2-0 for the Swarmlord. Once again, ooh, he gave me 20 points too, nice. Let me see where I am on the rank currently. I'm on 11, so if we keep this up, we'll be in top 10 very soon. And I want you guys to have this deck, you know? Let's give the community the power of the powerful decks that we make. So I think you guys are gonna enjoy it. Now, here's a very, very fun little fact. This is not a very good matchup. I prefer Abaddon over Harken Worldclaimer. Now, let me explain why. These guys technically play Adulterous Despoilers a lot of times, which means that whenever I play the stealth units, he can just smash it with his Warlord power, which is not good. which is absolutely not good, boys. But the good thing about Harken is that he has low HP. Him having low HP means that I can go aggro and I can smash him. Because Harken's problem is that wherever he needs to use his Warlord power, he needs to attack. Though, once again, it's a little bit of a bad matchup because he can do the ranged attack and take only 1 damage, right? So it's not exactly the ideals. What? Huh. Okay. Prime? In this case, I do drop the Tyranid Prime because I know that he needs to use one of his flanks. It's either Possessed or Possessed Champion, and in both cases, he uses all of his energy to do that, so he still is behind after he does that, right? Oh, and he doesn't even have it. Well, good for me. That's good for me, boy. Oh, no, no, no. He's making so many mistakes there. No, my brother. The HP is not gonna help. I still have 8 damage. What are you doing? Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Do I even... I might have lethal here or something. No, I don't. There's no lethal, but... There's the Gene Stealer. And I'm also gonna drop the Neuraloid, honestly. At this point. Do it like this. And smack this. Actually, dropping the Neuraloid was a mistake. I now realize, because I gave him a softer target. But then again, it didn't matter because he would have done the attack on the Warlord. Oh, interesting. So he actually commits to playing a Spondum here. Very interesting. Not sure why he needs the Spondum here, but fair enough. Fair enough, fair enough. I'm still gonna go face though. If he thinks that I'm not gonna go face, he's mistaken. I'm gonna go face, and apart from going face, I'm also going to drop this. Now, this bad boy goes into the middle. Do you know why it goes into the middle? Because Harken World Claimer can no longer fly. And what he needs to do is then he needs to attack this and take damage in order to hit 2 of my targets. If I place it here, he attacks this and takes 1 damage. If I place it here, the same thing happens. So I place it in the middle so that he has to do the oopsie. Best thing he's got, he could attack this and execute this, but then initiative is once again mine. So what I'm trying to tell you guys is that initiative in this game is everything. Like, it's absolutely everything. You lose the initiative, you lose the game in most of the cases, because Warpforge currently doesn't really have good comeback mechanics, let's say it like that. You don't really have a lot of chances to just come back into the game. I'm just gonna drop this. The Hive Crone is good. I'll explain why. If I drop the Venom Thrope and Gene Stealer, he could always use a, what do we call it? Helldrake Strike. And this is immune to Helldrake Strike because it has 7 HP. So even on high roll, he'll then have to attack it and he just dies. So there you go. Dark Apostle. That's a good play. But not enough. Unfortunately for him, it's not enough. And I actually have an answer. I'm telling you, man, these gargoyles are such a menace. They're like one of the best things that Tyranids have got from like the recent updates. It's absolutely nuts. Look at this, man. Look at this. Swarmlord is just an animal. There we go. He gives me only 8 points, unfortunately. So let's go for another game. And let's see who we face this time. Maybe we can get our first loss now. And it is, what? Galaron? I'm going to swap these 2 things. I'm going to leave the prey. Imbaman. So I go second this time. Obviously, Digestion Pool is really good. Galaron, huh? I don't know. Maybe Galaron is... Nah. I've been thinking maybe Galaron is a little bit better than Abaddon versus us, considering his very cool ability, because he can deal 3 damage while taking 1, but I don't think so. I think his HP still cripples him. Okay, we got a nice little lethally hand here, and I think I know what exactly I'm going to be doing with that. But first, we are going to start from this. I'm going to start getting the initiative as soon as possible. So why am I doing this? I'm doing this because I don't have a big unit in my hand, and that really, that really is a problem. It could be a little mistake because Chaos do have the possessed, but once again, if he does that, then he loses initiative. As I always say, the loss of initiative is big in this game, guys. You gotta always keep that in mind. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna drop our beautiful Gene Stealer here. We're gonna whack him in the face, and we're gonna whack him again, bringing him down to 22. How does that feel, Galeron? Well, looks like last turn I made a small mistake. The mistake in this case being I should not have attacked with that. I would have had a stronger turn. Do I do Tyranid Prime here? Let's do Tyranid Prime. Why not? Yeah, I made a small mistake. I got greedy. I should not have attacked, and the Node Beast would have taken this out. I would have dropped the second Gene Stealer and stealthed it. I would have been way ahead now. So once again, I did not consider the options of my enemy. What is going on here? What's going on, my brother? He's just dropping this. He's already behind a lot. Then I'm going to drop a Carnifex on you because I don't care. I'm gonna Phase Bash with this. And I'm gonna go face. Not Phase Bash, but I'm gonna trade. I also rolled my Hardened Biology, and I'm actually regretful that I could not demonstrate the Hardened Biology to you guys in these games. This thing can absolutely win you the games. If you're asking why we do not have the second one, well, the second one is a bit of a problem. The second one it might be a little problem because it becomes too reliant on a single unit and might be a little scary. Wait a minute, so 10, 13... Yikes, he might actually win this. I don't know if you guys are noticing that, but he might actually win here. If he has a combo. So I'm not gonna go face. I'm gonna stay quiet here. If he can win this turn, or I win the next turn. If he has some bizarre combo, he can win. If not, next turn I win. For sure. Helldrake, or a very good Helldrake could... Okay, never mind. Yes, Murderous Desires. As I thought. He's playing the combo deck. That's why I didn't go face. You guys have to anticipate those things, guys. Him going so aggro against Swarmlord made a little tingle here, and I understood what he was about to do. We're almost into top 10, guys, so this is like this is crazy. Let's play one final game. Maybe we can get one loss so that we can see. Okay, there you go. There's an orc. So what I said, if you guys remember, is that one of the main good things here for the Swarmlord is the lack of orcs. But now that there is an orc here, I might just actually lose. So we'll see. Orcs are very good against Tyranids because they have a lot of hard removal. And so they're a problem. They get the armor. They don't let you combo anything, so it's a very sad matchup for the Tyranids. Fortunately for us, not a lot of people play orcs these days. That's because Emotech absolutely annihilates orcs. There's like no point of playing Emotech, no point of playing orcs when there's an Emotech in the opponents. Well, unless you play some aggro orc, but aggro orc doesn't really work anymore because of the nerfs to the Green Horde. So there's that. Fortunately, it is Grok and nothing else, and by nothing else, I'm saying that because he has the very low amount of HP, so that's one of the reasons why I think Grok is not that much of a problem. Okay, what he could do here most probably is ranged attack into this and do no mocking about, but no mocking about would be good for me because I can drop a Carnifex, so yeah. It does set up for the next turn. If he doesn't remove this, then he's in a bit of a trouble. Ooh, Makari the Grot. I hate Makari the Grot, honestly. It's a godforsaken card, and I love it as well. And I honestly love it as well, deep down. So we're gonna drop a Carnifex here. We're gonna do it. We're gonna attack. So let's see if he has what it takes to remove this. If he does the first no mocking about, then I can safely play the Brood Lord, because chances of him having 2 are not that high. Rapacious Hunger is also going to be really good, because he's going to have another Rot Gang, which is going to be pretty important. So let's see what he does. He could play another Bike, obviously. It's also possible. It's too bad to lose, because I think this guy, I'm not sure where he's on the ladder. He's going to take like 40 points from us. But unfortunately, boys, this is what it is, man. The orcs are a... Wow, what? Maybe he just doesn't have the no mocking about. Wow, okay. Maybe he really just doesn't have it. Okay, let's try it like this. Double Neuraloid right now in my hand is not that good, considering we're playing against the orcs. When there is an orc meta, what you want to be playing with the Tyranids is the Infestation node. That's probably the best thing you can play at that point. Okay. See, this is also a pretty bad situation that we have right now, because I have to hope that this blows up. I don't want to use the Rapacious Hunger just yet. Yeah, that's good. That's actually pretty good. Okay, so I think this is what we do here. Funny enough, this is what I'm gonna do. Once again, like, against any other faction, I would have done Hardened Biology here, and it would have probably won me the game already, because imagine all of these things with armor and high HP. Nuts, right? But against the orcs, once again, it doesn't really work, so it's a problem. Well, let's see what our boy has here as an answer. Don't get me wrong though, guys, we could still win. It's still possible to win here. If he does a Grot Gang, it will be a mistake from his side, because then it's going to be Rapacious Hunger. I'm going to heal a lot, and then I'm just going to go ham on his face. That's the biggest mistake he could do. Draw a card, Grot Gang, and drop him a Kari. If he does that, it's a mistake, but it's a possible turn. Okay, alright. That's actually a pretty good turn that he did. I'm saddened to admit that that's a very good turn, because he decided to clear. He's playing correctly. He's playing quite correctly. And that's what I'm gonna do as well. I'm gonna push. There's like not much I can do except really push him. Push the damage. That's really all I can really do. Considering his hard removal, that's really all I can do. You guys probably understand. It's a general issue in this matchup. There you go. There's no mocking about. It takes out... Oh, that's good that it took out that and not the other thing, because then he would have taken out for free. Iron Gob. Okay, Iron Gob. Interesting. Now, here's the problem. Once again, if it was any other faction, this would have been lethal to him. So I'm going to play this instead. And I can't really attack him because I get stunned. Now it's the Will of Gork. That's another problem in this matchup, once again, as I'm saying. Like, he does Will of Gork, it's clear, you're done, right? So it's a very, very hard situation. So, and don't forget, he's gonna have 2 copies of Will of Gork and 2 copies of No Mocking About. So once again, pretty hard to deal with. If there is an orc meta and you want to play Swarmlord, what you want to be doing is you want to be playing infestation nodes because it regenerates your hand, and when your hand regenerates, the orc just runs out of resources, right? So this is not as much of a hopeless matchup as people might think. It's just that in the current meta, when you're building around Ultramarines, Necrons, and other stuff, the orcs become a problem. Yeah, there you go, Will of Gork. So presses one button and he kills your whole thing. It's not that it's not the same if you have infestation node, as I said, but right now it is a problem, and we only get a flank troop here, so that flank, that's not really that good. I'm gonna have to go face. So if he gets a second no walking about here, we're also going to be screwed. But once again, we're not giving up. We're still pushing. We're still going to try our best, and we'll see what we can do. We're going to draw double cards next turn, and it is still possible to win the matchup due to those things. Don't forget, guys, that he's still going to have the Grizzled Scarboy, and Grizzled Scarboy is just going to kill the game for us. Actually, him wasting the heal there, I don't know if it was that good. The heal, the Iron Gob, is very important because it shuts down your Bloodthirst. That's another thing that the orcs have against the Tyranids. If he thinks that you have lethal, he can always go with Bloodthirst and just, not Bloodthirst, the Iron Gob, and you just get stunned when you attack him. So orcs just have an array of tools to deal with the standard Tyranid gameplay. Oh, okay. That's interesting. Where's the Grot tank? That's pretty interesting. Let's... Okay. That's not too bad. There's gonna be a second Will of Gork, probably. Don't forget that we have Adrenaline Surge double in our deck with Bloodthirst, so our Warlord could also technically do a lot of damage. We'll see what we can do. There's Makari, so no Will of Gork if there's Makari. There's Warbiker. So no Mocking about, probably. So takes out the Broody and then no Mocking. It's good that we have Gene Stealer. Those things can multiply. If he just wastes all of his no Mocking abouts, then we could actually go ham with the Gene Stealer. Ah, so that's the thing, huh? Okay. No second Will of Gork yet. I also have HP buffs for myself in my deck. It's really gonna depend on how good we draw. And maybe how many mistakes he makes. Crump the gits. Oi. We's gonna crump the gits. So much healing on top of that. I need Bloodthirst. If I get it, I win. 7, 9, 10. I think I might have lethal here. Well, shit. There's lethal, boys. GG. But once again, very hard matchup. Very, very hard matchup. But you can pull it out, as you can see. You can do it, but it's very, very difficult. It's not easy. Oh, no. He's somewhere high on the ladder. He gave me so many points. And we're in top 10, gentlemen, right below Puris. So, there you go. Oh, he's right here. Okay. I thought... Okay, never mind. We're right here. We're gaining up on Shumatsu, actually. Maybe we can catch up to the Buglord himself. Anyway, gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this game. I hope you can see the power of the Swarmlord for yourselves. And Ecclesiarch out. See you in the next one.